What's up YouTube? Thanks for clicking on my first video. Now as you can read from the title, I lost my FTMO funded account last week. I've been doing a lot of soul searching since then, and I wanted to come on here and share something I wasn't able to admit to myself until now, something my subconscious knew deep down, and that's the truth. I didn't truly deserve success or the responsibility of being a funded trader. My subconscious knew I wasn't putting the work into my mental game. It knew I wasn't coming to the markets prepared. It knew how vulnerable my emotions were to the markets. And if you know deep down you don't deserve something or you can't trust yourself, your subconscious will work in ways to come back and destroy any progress you thought you made. And it's a real hard pill to swallow. Self-sabotage is something often overlooked by us traders. It's something we're aware of. Do we really understand the mechanics of it and the root causes? We're going to dig a little bit into my situation, and this it's probably going to get a little personal, but I hope by me being open about this, I'll be able to provide some value and good insight to the traders struggling to find consistency. By the way, guys, doing a YouTube video is something way outside of my comfort zone. But I came up with this bright idea the day I blew my account. And there's going to be a theme to the FTMO challenge series I'm going to be doing, and that's embracing the uncomfortable in all aspects, being accountable, including all the work I need to put in to achieve the mindset I need to be consistent. This isn't the first time I've blown a funded account. I did the exact same thing a couple months ago. So in my case, I know some drastic changes need to be implemented. You're probably thinking, how does this guy even sound upbeat and optimistic right now? How am I even smiling? I couldn't even sleep that night. I was up all night just beating myself up, thoroughly disgusted with myself. And I know as traders you can relate. Actually, before we go into my account metrics, I'm going to run a clip of the recording I done that next day, and we're going to see just how broken this guy was. Sometimes it's just good to make fun of yourself. Not accepting losses, letting them grow to the point it's debilitating, letting emotions take over, revenge trading. Usually at that point you've lost all self-awareness, and after you've blown the account, it's like, who was that? Who was this person inside of me that just pressed the self-destruct button? So
hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.
So I got a bit carried away there with the editing, but I got a lot of content planned. So I'm going to be live trading a new FTMO challenge and hopefully another funded account. We're going to be going through my thought process in real time, day to day, trade management, how I'm managing my emotions, the routine. I'm not going to be overly fixated on the end goal, which was a big part of the reason I keep blowing up. Let's look first at the challenge and verification leading up to provide some context, because there has been progression in my trading. I've been learning how to trade for the past 18 months now, and I'm not completely hopeless. So this is the latest challenge. Oh, I disappeared. Okay, no worries. As you can see, guys, we got a pretty smooth equity curve. I passed this within 14 trading days. Actually, one thing I would say about this time round was I took a hell of a lot of trades. I was definitely over trading. I'm usually an intraday trader, always have been. I would love to be a swing trader because it's just a lot less stress. But in this case, I was more scalping, trading off the 1 minute time frame, which can be stressful. But it worked out fine, and the verification pretty much looks identical to the one you just saw. Yep, same thing, no drawdown, smooth equity curve upwards. We passed this within 5 trading days, I believe, and not a red day in sight. Statistics wise, we've got a win rate of close to 60, average RR of 1.5. And you're probably thinking, this looks pretty good, but wait until you see the funded account. It's like the complete opposite. Actually, why don't we have a look and breeze through some of the challenges I've done in the past? We're just going to quickly run through it because I have done many. So I took my first challenge back in July 2020. At this point, I really didn't have much experience trading apart from blowing a few small accounts. I pretty much dived straight into FTMO without any preparation or even a strategy to speak of. But I think my point of view was trading small accounts always ended up to be like gambling for me. And having to stick to the rules and objectives of a challenge seemed like a constructive way for me to learn. I believe I started this challenge literally 3 or 4 days later and didn't really get anywhere. But we managed to stay in there for 18 trading days and get the free repeat. So I guess I might have learned something. So I started this one about a month later. I took a break. And this is the first challenge I passed, guys. We had a little bit of a drawdown, nothing too major. I believe the metrics was off at that point. So we was up 500, down 2 2, so that's about 1700. But as you can see, the equity curve shows 3 3, so the metrics was off. I failed the verification for that. I believe I took this one in December. The markets was pretty choppy. Not making excuses, but during Christmas and New Year's, you gotta kind of take in the seasonality and also the trading days that you're gonna be missing. Which is funny I should say that because we're actually planning to take a challenge and it's gonna be around the same time. This one I remember was pretty good. Not too many trades, and actually I think the metrics was also off on this one because as you can see, it ended at 7-2, but I did hit the target. I think at this stage, for some reason, the metrics was only recording my losing trade, so the drawdown wasn't even that bad. And yeah, failed 2 verifications for the ones I passed. I'll show you one of them quickly. So a lot of people assume that the verification is easier because you've got twice the time, you have to hit half the target. But the thing is, because you're getting closer to that end goal of becoming a funded trader, you have to overcome another psychological barrier, which can be tough. So after failing those verifications, I gave trading a little break. And the next challenge I took was actually with TPT. This was my first funded account. I can't actually show you the metrics because they didn't have one set up at the time. But yeah, past phase one and phase two, no problem. But when I got the funded account, it didn't last. And it was a 200k funded account. And yeah, I blew it pretty quickly. Pretty much in the same fashion I blew the FTMO funded account. After that, we headed over to funding talent and we was on our way to getting another funded account. I was at phase two at this stage. It was taking a little bit of time. Would have got there eventually, but we all know what happened to funding talent. So back to the FTMO account I blew last week. As you can see, guys, the equity curve has completely flipped the other way. And it gets real ugly real fast here, guys. I mean, I didn't even give myself a chance. This is the honest truth I had to come to grips with. And why I said in the beginning that I never deserved this account in the first place. Because after going through all the challenges you just saw, after making some progression in my trading, even after blowing the first funded account, and bear in mind at this stage, guys, I've left my 9 to 5 a few months earlier. A business that I started with a friend of mine has shut down around the same time. So I'm really riding on this working out. All my eggs are now in this basket. So with that added pressure, you would have thought I took this a bit more seriously. And I planned to, but I didn't. I did everything wrong in the beginning. And it was almost like I was doing it in autopilot. I woke up on day 2 and I ain't even brushed my teeth yet and I fire off a random Bitcoin trade. No plan, nothing. It just looked good. I just got pulled into the markets, and that trade just immediately blew up in my face. Of course, I done the worst thing possible, and that's added to the position, not accepting my losses. And yeah, a big factor to my impulsiveness, two words: accumulated emotion. And we'll break that down in another video. I don't really want to make this too long. So this was the trade here, guys, that put me in a hole which was really hard to get back out of. And I don't really see much point in going over the trade in the charts. The only thing they have in common is that they were stupid. There was impulsive trades which I should have cut as soon as I realized the headspace I was in. Instead, I just stood there hoping that the market would turn around, and when you're down to just hoping, you just know you're done. It's over. And I was down nearly 5k on day 2. I got the account. And like, this is a new record for me. And from there I was just demoralized. I destroyed any self-confidence or self-trust I had left. And once you do that, it's just impossible to trade effectively. Now, to really psychoanalyze why I done this to myself is a whole nother video. To put it short, there's a part of me that's addicted to hitting rock bottom. People find their motivations in different places, and for me, my place is just way down there for some reason. And it sounds crazy, I know, but that's what I've come to realize. I was reading Trading in the Zone the other day by Mark Douglas, and he really goes in depth with self-sabotage. And one point that really stuck with me is that the market's a mirror. It reflects what's inside you back to yourself. And in my case, if I like to destroy and rebuild, then ultimately that's what's going to keep happening until I break the cycle. Bottom line, what are we going to do about it? And I keep on saying we because there's so many aspiring traders out there trying to figure out the game like me. And I think most of us realize by now that without a solid mental game, nothing else matters. So I'm going to try reprogram my mind and share the journey on YouTube as a way of fully committing to the process in a way I've never done before. And I've created a set of rules for myself. I'm going to pop them up on the screen here. And they're specifically targeted to my weaknesses. And I'm going to be following them no matter what. I've got to be fully accountable. So you're going to see every trade I take on my metrics and whether I've broken a rule or not. There's also some mindset goals I'm striving to and some affirmations, but we're going to build on that as we go along. Importantly, I also created a routine I need to follow, habits that need to be ingrained into me to achieve long-lasting results. We're going to keep track of my discipline day to day using the habit tracker you see on the left. Now, some of these are going to be pretty unconventional, like the dopamine detox, for example, and it's going to be hard. I'm going to struggle sometimes, but it's really no excuses. I'm going to be Spartan with it. Of course, I know everybody wants to know about strategies, so don't worry, we're going to be spending a lot of time on the charts. I'll be recording trades live as I take them, going through the whole thought process, and also trade management, which is very important and an area that I really need to work on. We've got plenty of time to go into more detail throughout the challenge series, and I probably ranted on a bit too much here, but to finish the video, I really wanted to emphasize the fact that the end goal is not just to pass the challenge and get another funded account. I've done that a few times already, as you've seen. To put it simply, my real end goal here is to just do what needs to be done and stick to the rules 100% no matter what for once in my life. And through that, that's going to help me achieve the mindset and attitude I need to keep a funded account and be consistent. And if I'm able to get there, then believe me, you can too. I'm going to be kicking off my challenge next week, so consider subscribing. I'm going to be uploading as much as I can. If you're coming to this video late, more than likely I've already done my first week of trading, so that video will be up here. And if you're up for it, comment down below on your experience with self-sabotage. Thank you for watching.